Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic night. We have some Final Fantasy VI video game play for you all. And I really hope that you enjoy this tonight. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do like the whole awkward shtick. I'm joined in the commentary booth tonight by Drinks Glue, the certified dog himself.
Certified dog.
Glue.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. We have quite the treat for you tonight. 7 weeks was not enough to decide who will win Potion D, and it's all come down to this final week. As Sabre Wolf and Turdsman go at it neck to neck to see who's going to claim the top place. As you can see right now on the screen, 1 point separates these two dogs, and we will explain the scenarios where you can take home the first place crown for you right now. If Sabre Wolf pulls out the victory tonight and Turdsman finishes the second, they will tie. But right now, Turdsman holds a 90-second average time advantage. So Saberwolf's going to need some help. He's going to need one of the guys at bottom to jump Turdsman this week to knock him down a few points to claim the top prize. Or if Sabre Wolf wins tonight by more than 12 minutes and 1 second, he will take the top prize in Potion D.
Yes, indeed. And it is important to remember that both Turdsman and Saberwolf, unless something very catastrophic happens, both of those players are going to be moving up to Elixir in the next season of Ultros League 5. So, first of all, congratulations are in order for both of these racers. But if they want the top spot, like Glue said, Saberwolf is going to have to make some magic happen here tonight. That being said, he has done it before, and he is more than capable of doing it again.
Vegas has Saberwolf right now as a minus 140 favorite, by the way, if you were wondering. DraftKings.com, use promo code Final Fantasy Worlds Collide for 10% off the first purchase. Actually, don't do that, please.
Please don't try that.
Don't try that. That was an awful joke. I believe we're at the 1 minute warning.
Yep.
Put that cursor on memory and wait it out.
And otherwise, the usual Ultros League rules apply. And really, the Worlds Collide rules apply. Everything is randomized from chests to Esper abilities to the bosses that you fight. Basically, if you can think of it, it is probably shuffled around. Players are free to swap between the World of Balance and World of Ruin at any time just by navigating to the airship and selecting a neat drop-down option there. Everything is more or less scaled based on the concept of a check. A check is a place that is tied to a character, and a check can either reward another character, an Esper, or a high-tier item. In this particular set of flags, we're looking for 6 characters and 9 Espers that will allow us to challenge Final Kefka.
And each character's checks kind of revolves around a significant moment in the storyline original game towards him. For example, when Realm was moseying around the statues like she wasn't supposed to, that is one of her checks in Worlds Collide.
Exactly.
All right, our runners should be get going any second now. We're on the final seconds. And they should be off and going.
Takes a bit for our stream to catch up.
They're ferociously off and going right now. It's just
our runners are so fast.
I apologize for the delay.
Locke and Edgar start. So I would say that this isn't too terrible. Edgar start means that you get a discount in the World of Ruin South Figaro, in addition to both flavors of Figaro Castle. So very nice as far as like guild management is concerned. But already we see a route divergence here. Turdsman opting to go ahead and go into the Returner's hideout, and Saberwolf heading over to Tzin, gonna check the Esper. 31k, that's about average.
Doing a little early Black Friday shopping before it gets here. I understand it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not quite the bargain bin Esper we're looking for, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Saberwolf. Check him out in the World of Ruin.
Yeah, 31K is about 50% of what it could cost because it's anywhere between, I believe, 5 GP and 65,000 GP. So 31 is right on a slap on the lower side, but you can get a better deal possibly in the World of Ruin. We'll find out, hopefully.
Uh,
Oh,
I didn't even notice that part. I just got stuck on the gold. So it was not an Esper, it was just a high tier item. So for 31K, yeah, it's way more than we want to pay. Still definitely worth it though if we can get like
if
very low 5-digit maybe, and especially 4 or 3-digit.
if the stars align and you happen to be in the area, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him go back for it.
Absolutely. So instead of doing all that, Saberwolf has opted to go flip to the World of Ruin, go check out Narsh. This is one of Locke's checks. Locke enables our players here to go get both a shot at an Esper and this Curse Shield, which is 8. And 8 is a little bit of a high number.
What would you say is that magic number where that curse shield is going to be at that is just no bueno for you, Gar?
I think it's 8. I think 8 is that number, but it's really close. If I were to find like an early ribbon or something, I would reconsider. Oh,
Ooh, that's a tough. Oh no.
yeah.
You may spend minutes on this choice, ladies and gentlemen. That's a tough choice.
I
Oh,
would be sorely tempted to get the egg there,
oh.
but
There is no wrong choice there.
yeah, Golem is a really, really good Esper. That is Saberwolf's Columnist protection, but
Oh, and we
the
found
EXP egg is levels.
and we have a ribbon for that shield.
Okay.
For Saberwolf, at least, excuse me.
And opting to reset out of the Night Stalker encounter there. I think that's a little bit of an interesting choice. I would have been tempted to just go ahead and kill it.
We got Turdsman's gonna check out the first visit to South Figaro. Let's see what he can find.
Well, that's a good find right off the rip.
That's a good feeling. That's a very good feeling.
That's a lot of
Oh.
money.
Whoa.
So Saberwolf, I think just picked up like 19,000 gold from a pot in the training house, and then Turdsman picking up 20K there. So lots of gold right off the rip. You love to see it. And then 2 elixirs.
Oh my goodness. This is like 100,000 K so far.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the shops don't really have the goods, but that is okay. Some shop somewhere has them. If whoever makes the Miranda play, I'm just going to go ahead and say that they win the seed, regardless of who actually wins. More money!
Oh my good. That's another 20,500 in Saberwolf's pocket.
Oh, and there are the Super Balls.
Over under of how many he buys right here, Gar.
Yeah, as many as my as many as my money will allow. I am spending basically everything.
Well, he's walking away with 2. That's
and something that we noticed is that Turdsman also has an EXP egg in his inventory, and I didn't see where he found that.
It must have been at Returners because he went Returners. Saberwolf went straight to Zen.
Yeah. Well, and Saberwolf is also going to get a crack at the Super Balls there.
He's going to get a chance to spend some money also himself.
So normally what I do is I buy the things that I'm going to need for the seed. So that's going to be your sleeping bags, warp stones, potions, phoenix downs, all of that good stuff. And then basically once I'm done with all that, then I go for the Super Balls. And I buy as many Super Balls as I can manage. Here, I would be sorely tempted to buy or to sell the ribbon and try and buy a third Super Bowl, but totally respect the choice there. 8 is a few too many battles for a non-ribboned character to decurse that shield, so
Especially when you got Yamaro lying around, you're already losing control of one character.
yeah.
It's a real. It's real. It can make things really dicey at the beginning.
Yeah, no question.
Like Sabre was going to trek to the other side of the South Figaro, not finding as good of a haul as Turdsman did.
No, not quite. But Saberwolf is going to get a crack at the half-off shops. Does find a pair of Dragoon boots and says, "Yeah, this is pretty good," and opts to buy a pair. So we'll see if a Dragon Horn comes into play. So Turdsman is eventually going to go and pick up. I would assume that he picks up the Esper because he already has an egg.
Ooh, he looks like he's going to swing for it. Maybe not.
Turdsman holding on to that Wing Edge. Wing Edge is definitely one of those weapons that I sell as soon as I get it. It's a lot of money, and the instant death proc on it is useful. I just get super unlucky, and it never happens for me. So
The wing edge brings in about 12K on an average seat, so it's definitely something to consider there. He's going to hold on to it. It looks like.
yeah, I don't hate that either. In this particular case, it is halfway towards the Super Bowl, which is not nothing. Super Bowls.
He is fat. There are more Super Balls in Zen, but I believe Saberwolf already found those already. That's where he got his original one.
Saberwolf got his in Albrook. Saberwolf went to Albrook. Turdsman did not. But now Turdsman is going to be confronted with the choice. And again, it's a lot easier for him to pick the Golem.
When you already have one egg in the bucket, it makes it a little easier decision. I, however, personally would love to see him take a second egg.
I wouldn't hate that. And he gets really rewarded by that if a Terra comes up later in the seed. But here, if I'm in Turdsman shoes, I think his routing is a little bit cleaner because now he gets to do this check here. He gets to pick up both the Curse Shield in addition to this Esper. And because he's got Super Balls in his pocket, it's a lot easier for him to go up the mountain, kill that dragon and or Tritalk, and then proceed on to Umaro's check. So
Turdsman didn't even think twice about it. He's going with the Golem.
yeah.
But I like your comment about what Turdsman is doing here. You know, once you have that lock Umaro start, you know they pair very well together. Because you can go to Narsh and it's all you need to do in Narsh in one of the worlds when you got both of them. So he's planned out his pacing a little bit better right now at this moment, I would say.
Yep, and that is exactly what he's going to do. I would be a little tempted if I'm Turdsman to take off the Moogle Charm and find a random encounter, but it's not strictly necessary. It's just a little bit of insurance in case this dragon happens to be one of the more rude ones. So, like Pearl, Blue.
Pearl and Blue are definitely the two he does not want to see, and possibly a Fire Dragon to hit him with some Fireball after a return or two.
Vanilla Ice Dragon, let's go. Skull Dragon, also great.
Skull, Dragon, and Storm are the ones we're looking for.
So Golem, not a particularly exciting Esper, but it does have Berserk on it and a speed +2 level up bonus, so not horrible. I've definitely seen worse.
He's taking the safe right on the... Oh no, the dragon... Oh, he lets him by. He was just playing chicken with him.
Yeah, I gotta scare him a little bit.
Let's find out.
Oh, gold. Okay.
Ooh, that's on the tamer side of what you want to see here. Very fortunate Gigabolt cast. And now the question is, can he get it done with 2?
Oh yeah, easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Yes, indeed.
Uh,
It,
and
it's always
also
it's,
Magitech Mog.
yes, indeed. It's always a great feeling when you take down a dragon right when you start, because all that, that fuzzy feeling of how am I going to get my first battle? When is my first battle going to take place? It's all gone. Everything, all those feelings have left your body, and you're ready to rock and roll.
Yes, indeed. So Turdsman has successfully ramped up from level 3 to level 12 from a single dragon fight. Level 16 in the case of Mog. So
And with that 16 log, 2 rings, and magic deck, he has some offense under his belt, so he can comfortably start taking some fights.
yeah. Oh, and it's just Daddy Luma. Smooth sailing up here for Turdsman, and Sabrewolf too, probably, as long as he can get up there in a timely manner.
Nothing of interest so far in Nars, but maybe some circlets never hurt.
Circlets are a fantastic piece of headgear. You want your circlets. You want your mystery veils are also great. Bard's hats. Everyone knows about Magus hats, but the Bard's hat's also pretty good. Or if you're a true champion, yeah, just keep the leather hat on. It's fine. Just a Magus rod there for Turdsman. So he's gonna go back and save, and then probably just jump down and then see who the Yeti actually is.
We'll get a safety save, and then we will see what is cooking down in that cave. Sabrewolf has called it quits in Nars World of Balance. Now let's see where he's headed next. Looks like he's back to South Figaro, where he'll find all the good stuff that Turdsman found earlier.
I'm a little surprised that. Oh, Rage Ring. That's a good find for Turdsman. I'm a little surprised that Sabrewolf hasn't poked his head into Figaro Castle quite yet.
Occasionally, I'll see some racers. What they will do is they will wait to knock out Figaro Castle with Ancient Castle and the Underground Tentacle check as well, just so it's all one-stop shop. It makes trekking down Ancient Castle a little less painful because you save some time not visiting it twice. That could be what he's doing here.
Maybe. The flip side to that, though, is that because you started with Edgar here, you kind of want to take advantage of his discount as soon as possible. And in the event that there were Super Balls available for purchase in there, it would mean that like Turdsman would have bought him there, and he would have had a lot more, and that would have put him like very solidly ahead of Sabrewolf at that point. So, fortunately, in this seed, it's not really going to make that big of a difference. And as soon as I speak it, it comes into existence.
All that's standing between Turdsman and finishing Narsh is an Air Force, which goes down quite easily.
Air Force definitely one of the ones that you want to see early.
Especially when you got Bolt laying around.
Yeah, Bolt 2 making quick work of him. I did not see the Esper that he got, but it was an Esper. I did see the Rock. Ramu. Oh, with a Fire 3 stapled to it. That's pretty good.
That's very nice. With some element diversity going on. And there is the experience egg for Sabrewolf. It was in Figaro Castle. So right now, Turdsman is only 1 Esper ahead, but he has quite the level advantage, plus the 3 checks already under his belt. Ahead of Sabre Wolf, so he's rocking and rolling.
Yep, looks like he's also just going to poke his head in here. Take a look at the shops. I think if I were in Turdsman's shoes, what I would do is flip and then start doing Mog's checks. But there is a solid case to be made for at least poking your head into the South Figaro cave to see if it's a character. Glue, what do you think? What would you do in this situation?
At this point, Mog's checks aren't ideal because it's such a trek to get up there, and then you do the Lone Wolf, and then you start, Kefka at Narsh to make your way down, and then it's so deflating when you do all that just to run into a Magic Master you can't kill, or something else. So at this point in time, I would probably go to the cave first just to see if you could find somewhere that's going to lead you somewhere a little bit better than going to Mog's checks right now, because Mog's checks are great, but only when you can comfortably handle them all, because there's such a time investment.
It is. It is. It takes a while to climb the mountain, but basically once you're up there, you do three checks in quick succession. I really like Mog, and I like his what was it 3.0 of the randomizer where we got the new check.
Yes. Just
the new check plus the ability to go to Arvis's house after doing Kefka and Narsh. Both of those combined made Mog a very, very attractive option for checks.
Looks like we will find out what's in the South Figaro cave, courtesy of Turdsman.
Yep. So I definitely don't hate this. There's another dragon down here as well in the ancient castle, and it's more levels. You've got an EXP egg. You might as well juice them up.
I was mistaken with Turdsman. I thought we were in the World of Balance cave, but we were in the World of Ruin cave. But nonetheless, we're making progress. My general rule of thumb is there is no right or wrong answer of where you should go, as long as you go there with conviction.
Well, Sabre Wolf, unfortunately, looks like he forgot to do the Lone Wolf peak.
That isn't. Let's see where he finds out and realizes the error of his ways. Tornado Keith, right? You hate to see it.
Yeah, he's gonna be beating himself up over this, I'm pretty sure. So just a ghost up there at the top, and
He's gonna reel out the worst possible.
Okay, yeah, he reset, and that is faster than climbing back down the mountain.
That's very unfortunate, but hopefully he can recover. We will find out. Fortunately, it saved before he went in.
And the worst ultras for Turdsman here. You hate to see people forget Lone Wolf. You hate to see ultras 4.
Sabre Wolf is back on the right path, and we'll find out what's on top of Narsh World of Balance. Yamaro not helping the fight for Turdsman.
Yeti's gonna do Yeti things.
Yamaro worries about Yamaro and Yamaro only.
Yep. There's the Achu.
There we go. All those tentacles nets Turdsman's Crusader.
All right. Celeste here would be huge for Saberwolf.
Really, at this point, anything that diverts Saberwolf on a different path is the best help or outcome for him, because if he follows the same path of Turdsman, we know he's behind. Because he did a little more shopping, we know he's behind because he forgot the Lone Wolf check. So anything that puts him on a different path that could possibly be faster is going to be what he needs to catch up here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Looks like he's not going to get it from the wolf, but he's going to, do the Kefka and Arch check. He's going to teleport down, and maybe Arbus has something down there in the cave for him.
Shiva Esper there. Again, nothing terribly exciting, but Doom is nice to see.
And we will be taking this fight for Saberwolf at level 3, so let's see what happens.
Mega Elixirs for sale. In the world of Ruin, South Figaro Castle. And yeah, he opts to pick one up. I don't hate it. Like if you don't get it now, you're basically never gonna get it. So,
and if you have the cash flow at this point in time, there's no wrong decision on what to spend it on as long as it gets spent.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
He's going to take some of the soldiers down on his way down to Kefka.
Yeah, I don't hate this either.
I don't hate it at all. He understands the assignment. I do hate that for him. I feel for him in that one.
Yeah. That's always a little unfortunate.
That's all right because Mog is the only one that matters at this point. Thank you, Poots Cootie, for wishing good luck to both of our racers. Welcome, Mobile Collects. We're happy to have you in. Tornado Keith, we're glad to see you. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already and you are not, go ahead and give our dog Saberwolf Gaming a follow. And let's go ahead and, hop on over to the Turdsman channel and give him a quick follow real quick as well. And let's give him a big thank you after we're done with this. It takes a lot of courage to get on here and race and embarrass yourself in front of all these people. So this is no small task and work that they're doing for us. So let's make sure we show them some love.
100%. And similarly, you should also follow Drinks Glue. Once again, certified dog. The Schwantz27 certified dog.
I can confirm that the Schwantz27 has that dog in him.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely.
Few people have as much dog as Schwantz does.
He has once this week is over, he has a great story about his Ultros League run this week that he will happily tell you as well.
It is not a fat joke, FAT. It is a PHAT.
A lot on the line here for Saberwolf, and it's a Fumbaba.
Ooh.
This is going to be a beefy boss. I don't know if 2 Super Balls is going to get it done. That probably gets a third of the way there. Oh no.
Turdsman up against the one of the Rooter Dragons. Pro Dragon's rude because it can do anywhere from 1 to 3 attacks per turn. Balanced out by the fact that the White Dragon has a good chunk less HP than most of the other Durgans. So down it goes. Not a huge problem. But Funbaba giving Saberwolf the business here.
Very much giving him the business. He really want all 3 of these characters alive just because, you got Locke who already missed the battle and oh no. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Saberwood deciding to risk it all just to get this over with, and he is gonna not get there, unfortunately. At this point, it's crack that Pearl Rod. If that doesn't get you there, crack that Magicite and maybe take a reset.
I would be sorely tempted to just GP toss my way out of this. I don't know if the reses are going to get there. The biggest problem with having one person alive is that you can't wait trick during the animation. So this is a lucky break.
Yeah, and he needs single targets on Locke, because Locke can only die from physical attacks at this point from him. And I don't think that potion, any attack that targets Mog, is gonna wipe him. So I think he'd be better served right here to get Edgar back up, just to have another meat shield.
Looks like that's
Oh,
exactly what's going on.
and he's got to be under 1,000 HP left, I think. Is this gonna do it for him?
Yeah, unfortunately, Funbaba just has a ton of HP. He's just a giant sack of hit points. Even at minimal scaling, it's a long fight. But there it goes, doing the victory dance there.
Beautiful. That was a good 7 or 8 minutes of progress on the line for Sabre Wolf there.
So Turdsman gonna poke his head into.
Oh no, all that just for some fixed dice.
Well, we know where an offering is, so it's not the worst thing in the world as long as somebody can actually use it.
Let's find out. 1 for 1.
Uh,
1 for 2. Okay, we got a fixed dice user.
Part Car says didn't die. That's a beautiful emote. And it's 100% true. Didn't die, doesn't matter. Ooh, that is a pretty juicy Phoenix there. Fire 3 and Break and 100% HP. So not ideal, but it's pretty darn good.
Pretty juicy.
That's pretty juicy. And Realm.
Realm is going to put Sabre Wolf on a different path, which is exactly what he needed.
Yes. We'll see if there's a character here in South Figaro Cave, because if so, that could be very, very interesting in terms of what that means for the routing for both of our runners here. Realm is a fantastic character to see here. It almost doesn't matter what her ability is, given that we have access to Fire 3. And Goddess in the way. This shouldn't be a problem, but you don't really like to see Goddess all that much.
Turdsman shouldn't run into too much difficulty here, but it's still on the tougher side of bosses. You could see at this point.
He does have the opportunity to steal a Minerva here, if he just so desires. I think there's one in his inventory that's just languishing there. So,
I don't think anybody can wear them over he has. So really, at this point, it's just does he want another 30k GP?
Exactly. Well, who would you rather fight, Goddess or Doomgaze?
Let's find out. Is number 5 is Sabre Wolf's enemy, and it is not.
Sabre Wolf passes the check. Now he has to fight Doomgaze.
Just when you thought Sabre Wolf had some good luck with his temporary party character having to throw, he gets wiped off the board.
How about a Phoenix cast from Turdsman?
You don't see those too often.
No, you don't. That's
Very
awesome.
Very clutch wherewithal to know that it's right there on the one character up as well.
So unfortunately,
He just won't let him throw.
yeah, he keeps using Doom on Kupek. Poor little Moogle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really just not ideal.
Kupek does have throw, but Sabre Wolf's having a tough time keeping him up, much less everybody else. And he's down to 3 Phoenix down, so everybody gets one more chance at this.
Yeah, this is just rough.
It's time for Saberwolf to pick his 2 favorite characters, it looks like.
Down goes Goddess.
This is an awful feeling for Saberwolf because you know a Doom can come at any time and you have 1 character up. Much less all these nasty AoE attacks. It's just not a very good feeling right now.
No, 100% not. Turdsman through his fight finds Terra. That is huge. With throw.
Oh goodness, and we all know what he's about to get.
Saberwolf unfortunately does take the wipe.
I'm not sure if Saberwolf saved after he came down the mountain with his teleport. We're about to find out.
It's pretty uncommon for people to do that. So I'm gonna say that it probably didn't happen.
Oh
no.
That is a good 16-minute time loss. That is very unfortunate.
Well, ooh. Does he really want the fixed ice that badly?
Well, he knows Locke can use them. Locke isn't doing much else. Plus, he's still back to level 3, so he's got to take a fight or 2 back on his way down. I think he's just going to recreate his path and then skip Doomgaze altogether. That is my guess for what he does. Because he's pretty safe versus Fumbaba because of his Thunder Shield. You can beat Fumbaba, you just can't beat him fast.
Yeah, that's really rough. I honestly don't see a path for him back into this. Now, it's possible that somehow Turdsman screws up really, really badly, and that would open the door back up a bit for Saberwolf to catch up. But I think at this point, Turdsman's taken a pretty commanding lead here. He's at 5-4. He's got Terra checks to do, all of which are pretty quick.
He's pretty well situated in offense, and offense that plays well later as well. So there's a lot going right for him.
Yeah.
And really for Saberwolf here, it's I see the chat guessing should he fix this out? Should he finish this out? Should he go and reset? I don't think there's any right answer here. You know he's not feeling very well. He knows he just took a 16-minute time loss. So there is no okay, this is the right way to go back to make up 16 minutes and catch a very talented racer in Turdsman. He knows he just gotta put his foot in the gas pedal and go and hope for the best.
Yeah, now is the time for some especially risky plays on Saberwolf's side, and Turdsman can afford to play it pretty safe. And I think at this point, Turdsman has to be feeling really good about his route.
Von Turdsman, Turdsman knows the situation where he's in first place by 1 point. Saberwolf not only needs to win, he needs some things to go right, as far as the other players as well. So he's more inclined to play it safe overall, just in the general scheme of things. So he's not going to do anything too crazy here.
Yeah. Plus, one thing that the 5th party member allows him to do is take on Funbaba with, if he decides to do Kefka and Arch, he could take on Funbaba with a full party instead of going to 3. Plus, his levels are a lot more conducive to that sort of thing.
I would be very surprised if Turdsman goes anywhere else but Narsh here because he knows he has Terra. He can go do Terra's gate check. He knows he gets an experience egg right behind it, and then he knows he gets to walk up and do all of Terra stuff.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And I also believe that Saberwolf, unfortunately, again, didn't start the lone wolf check, so that's why he didn't do it when he made it to the top. So I'm only seeing, I think he only has the 1 Esper.
I think he did Lone Wolf and then saved before he did this. So, and then yeah, just like you said, Turdsman just making a beeline for Narsh and is gonna be able to knock out everything in one blow here. So, Funbaba casting Stone, which is it's probably like my least favorite ability in the entire game. It's just so bad to see, especially like a party-wide stone cast.
It's it's pretty overpowered from the boss's perspective. They should not have that much power, in my very biased opinion. Looks like Saberwolf did put the Thunder Shield on Mog, which is the right play, as Mog is the key to all of his offense. He's what makes this card go. Just unfortunately, he's making it go on Edgar right now.
It would be hard for him to die in this situation, but also we need Fumbaba to...
We need Fumbaba to stop being a jerk. That's what we need here.
Yeah, we need him to slap Mog around, and he just opts for the reset.
So we're at a 21-minute time sync on this for Saberwolf. Let's see if he goes back up and gives it one more college try. We know you can't hear us, Saberwolf, but if you can hear us through the ethers and the, through the waves through there, don't take it too rough. It happens to the best of us sometimes.
I know you're tilted. Please.
Yes. If the roles were reversed, some obscenities would be cast right now out of my mouth.
Oh, I have uttered my fair share of obscenities, so yeah, Saberwolf's gonna go try it again. And Turdsman just setting up his party.
The good news for Turdsman, he's not going to have too much trouble on this tower. The only really thing, or excuse me, too much trouble making this climb up through Narsh. The only thing that's going to give him some trouble on the way down is number 5, when he runs into Doom Games eventually, when he after he teleports back down, and we're finding Strago at the Terra gate check.
Not
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
Not a lot standing between Turdsman and his experience egg right here.
No, not at all. That's a lot of bolt edges. So, if you're Turdsman, this is your 6th party member. You go down to Moogle Defense and you see Realm. Do you take Realm?
You definitely take Realm over Strago here, because he's going to swap Strago for Yamaro. He just doesn't know that Realm is on the other side of the mountain right now, and he's only going to invest that Fumbaba fight into that Strago, so it's an easy choice to make that switch. There's really no ability Strago could have where you would not switch him out for a vanilla Realm.
Morph would make me consider it. Health would not.
Oh, Health, he agrees with you. Yeah, he's gonna roll with the Yamaro. You love to see it. Yamaro gets a lot of hate in this community. I don't understand why. Maybe he would have liked to be counterattacked, but that's just me. I love a good counterattack.
Do you know?
Especially one I'm not prepared for.
Oh, those are the best kinds.
They build they build character through adversity, in my opinion.
Saberwolf getting unlucky with the balls there.
At this point, if Saberwolf sees another Fumbaba ever again, I would not be surprised if he just forfeited and quit the race. not this race, but just in general. He knows the stakes. He knows, even though he's having a rough go of it, that there's still a lot on the line. So he's going to tough this out.
Yeah, 100%.
He will have some Fumbaba stories to tell for a lifetime.
And again, Sabrewolf really can't lose here.
Unless the stone comes out, which I believe has a 1 in 9 chance on one of the turns.
It depends on what that scales into.
Oh, that is true. That's very true.
And okay, down he goes again.
Cool. That's even though he knows, that was a 30-minute commitment. That's still a great feeling right now for Sabrewolf. You love to see it for him.
Schwann's asking for both of us, did Sabrewolf get too much free progression here? I don't think so.
I think we'll have to see how the rest of the seed plays out before we can confirm how good or bad that scenario was for Sabrewolf.
I don't think he scaled it too high. I think that he was at an appropriate level of scaling. I think that he just got very unlucky. Definitely as far as like the Super Bowl rules go, but also Turdsman also just had like a cleaner route, I think, because he was able to go directly from lock into Umaro checks, hit the dragon, hit and try talk along the way.
Yeah, so many of the bosses in the game are so easy to beat even at low levels. It's really a 50-50 chance at that Doomgate spots where he says, okay, you know what, maybe I'm gonna risk this a little bit. I'm not gonna save because there's so many bosses right now. I've seen Fubaba, the whole pool is wide open. There's such a good chance he runs into a Daddy Llama or a leader. It's not overwhelmingly good, but there's a decent chance that he gets to cruise through that and he's building momentum and he just wants to build on top of that. But
Yeah.
sometimes when you take risk, you don't get the biscuit, unfortunately.
That's a shame too, because I'm from the South. I love my biscuits, so I'll always risk it for biscuit.
Oh, you love to see the aggression too out of him, even though it was a 30-minute backfire, and you feel everybody right now is feeling his pain. You should never fault aggression and risking it.
Nope. Oh,
Oh,
that's right. This was Goddess. I forgot.
we totally forgot what was on the other end of this for Sabrewolf, which is more pain.
I think, all right. I'm trying to put myself in Saberwolf's shoes, and I think if I were him, I would be so tilted that I actually just come right side up again. You flip the table so much that it just lands back on its legs. But unfortunately, as far as we know, those are the only two paths. Neither of our runner has gone into Phoenix Cave yet, so in theory, there could be alternate progression there.
That is true. His options are Phoenix Cave, going down to Ancient Castle, or fighting two really hard bosses that he can't kill right now. So he can either, go back to Narish, get by the bucket, and gain some levels to go take one of those two bosses on, whichever one he desires, or you just go start fighting other paths and hopefully you find an easier door to go through.
Looks like Wolf is going to break that door open via Super Ball. So should be able to get 2, maybe 3 more here. And Turdsman is, in fact, going to go pick up the Realm. Now, I don't know what his levels are, but he didn't spend nearly as long on this as Saberwolf did. So even if he does wipe, and even if he didn't save, I'm not sure if he did that either. He should be in a much better spot here. But yeah, Realm is going to come in for Strago. Realm's checks are generally better. We'll see if he passes math. He does. Very good. It tickles me to no end that Umaro is using an Atma weapon.
You're very blessed when you have that Atma weapon, and then you can see that your Maro can use it, and you're almost tempted not to, just knowing that you're going to be in front of a live captive audience. And you can really show off the power of your Maro, who doesn't get utilized very much in Worlds Collide. Which is a shame in my book.
Yeah, unfortunately, unlike games like Final Fantasy IV, where Berserk is an extraordinarily beneficial status, the effectiveness is it's not quite as pronounced here.
Yeah,
Although
there are many bosses where targetable offense is what you want, but it is really one of the best feelings you can have, where you just see his timer queue up, and then you know that he's going to take care of business for you. It's a very lazy feeling, but it's a very great feeling.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Down goes Doomgaze. So I imagine that Realm's going to come in for Umaro. Edgar is probably going to pivot to Atma weapon shenanigans.
Let's see who comes
54 magic power. Oh my goodness.
And natural magic. That's... What will he do? Does he... Oh no!
Keep it the Yeti.
That's beautiful.
Relman for Mog. I don't know about that, Schwantz. And the only reason is because Mog has already had a lot of EXP sunk into him via Egg.
Yeah, with that egg on Mog, about 30% of the total experience pool, maybe higher, because I would say maybe 70% of the entire experience pool right now has already been dedicated to Mog to put him over.
Oh,
so
well,
it's just, you know, you're trading levels for a few magic power plus a better ability. Which one do you want to go with?
Well, rewind that. Apparently, Umaro has the EXP egg, and that is not a sentence I ever expected I would say.
Oh, that's a sentence I've always wanted you to say.
So Sabrewolf doing the happy dance, killing the Daddy Luma. But we already see the power of offering fixed dice there on his side.
Yeah, Sabrewolf knows that Turdsman doesn't know he's been taking a rough go of it here lately, but it still feels good when he can get things going and he can at least try to put some pressure on him, even though it's one-sided. He's the only one that knows that he's catching up slowly. It still feels great for Sabrewolf right now.
100%. So now we see one of the surprising weaknesses of Umaro in this particular party setup, and that is the body slam. At this point, you want Umaro to do nothing but fight, because body slam is significantly less DPS.
It's really what was his body slam? He's doing 1600 versus 4800 at this point total damage. So it's a huge loss every time he doesn't throw the sword out there.
Yep, and that's weird too, because normally you want him to body slam. The body slam ignores defense, but when you've got a defense ignoring weapon.
Yeah, normally you don't see a lot of Atma weapon offering experience on your Umaro, but there's you see something every time different you tune into one of these streams.
100%. Okay, so
at this point, if you're Turdsman, you're 7-6. You got to be thinking, what do I find next? What I find next really dictates how good I'm feeling. If I find another character, you're feeling good, not great, because then that starts the trek of I need 3 more Espers and 1 more character, to get the skip. So that's 4 more checks invested minimum. Personally, if I find another Esper right here, I'm feeling great because I know I'm 2 away. I got a lot of doors open that I can go through that are real super fast, but not the undesirables like the Stragos of the world right now.
Yeah.
He's not quite back in that corner where he has to go to do Strago stuff, but if he gets some dead checks here, he's definitely going to be feeling that pressure.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't think that Fnatic's Tower, for example, is a bad play.
It
You've got
never
tons of strong magic options, and you can see the reward before you go there.
And one of the great things, about having this Yumaro play off is he can have a physical attacker, and it doesn't matter if that he has Berserk or not because Yumaro is already Berserked. So he has instant damage no matter what's up there. He just has to wait it out.
Exactly. Plus, the recent Ebbets Rock changes make that a little bit more attractive too. You still have to deal with chest RNG, but once you have your coral, it's a lot more consistent actually getting to the hungry chest.
And once you hit that 22 coral, you have a 1 in 3 chance of ending up at the right spot, the save point, or the way out. So at worst, you have to step on that switch 3 more times once you're in go mode. Turdsman's not going to have too much trouble with this Ifrit because of that Ice Beam and Yumaro doing Yumaro things.
Well, maybe not so much right now because
Maybe now he's being able to see the body slam.
But this fight doesn't have a whole lot of HP, and yeah, there they go. Sabre Wolf opting to go and do Edgar checks, and unfortunately, this isn't going to do it for him. I would have really loved to see a Phoenix Cave play here.
You always love to see a Phoenix play cave.
Ooh, and Siren for Turdsman. That's another phenomenal find with Magpie +2.
That is beautiful.
That is absolutely phenomenal.
That is beautiful, plus another piece of that final Kefka puzzle is solved with Mute.
So at this point, I think the only thing that Turdsman needs to do is teach Mog Fire 3 and then turn him loose upon the world.
Very true. It's not a matter of if he can kill Final Kefka at this point. It's a matter of how fast he feels he can do it.
Yeah, there's no shortage of offense here, so we're just looking for 2 more Espers. At this point, if I'm Turdsman, if I see an Esper here, I'd be sorely tempted to go and do the auction house, just buy my way out of the seed. And Zone Seek is here. Zone Seek can no longer be the children's mother. We need to take the rock.
If he goes left, Zone Seek is coming with him, and he is going left.
Unfortunately, Turdsman just lost the seed. He did not get the dog skip.
He did not. He let the dog live. I actually think that reverse of that, he is the official winner of the seed for not letting the dog vanish away into the ether.
No, I don't know. You gotta skip the dog there. You always have to pet the dog when you come back, but that's Interceptor. That one, like the one here, is just a fake. It's a phony.
Well, it's the dog here. The dog is all the kids have, so it's like, why would you teleport the dog away when you're already taking away their mother? What, you gonna take away their clothes too? What else can you do to them at this point?
Get Fun Baba to hit them.
I guess if you take Fumbabo away, you're saving their life, so you make it up to them a little bit.
This is really
dicey.
not where you want to find.
It is not at all. Luckily, he has Luckily, Turdsman has a little bit of firepower to deal with this, but not the firepower you want. No Ice 3, no Ice 2, no Ice Rods. Looks like he's gonna be throwing Shurikens.
Unfortunately, what we want here is for somebody to be able to cast poison magic, since that's what Poltergeist is weak to. Bio is in the seed, and I think actually Terra has the Esper that would teach Bio to her.
That is true, because Saberwolf used Bio with his Mog earlier. It's out there somewhere, and Edgar's going to be eating it here in a second. So Turdsman may not be in much trouble as we thought. He's having a pretty easy go of it right now. Aside from that whole Edgar thing.
I wouldn't even bother picking Edgar up. I would just...
The only thing that stops
Hold
him here is another blaster.
And all he has to do is get Poltergeist under, I think it's 3/4 of his HP.
That is a little dicey because Poltergeist can hit some attacks that will damage Terra.
Oh yeah, any number of things can happen.
She is back up to a respectable amount of HP though.
So in the vanilla game, he can cast Meteo. In the randomizer, the ability scaling means that the Meteo, it might still be Meteo. It might also be something like Goner or Ultima or Wombat, and any number of those would hurt.
That is very true. I believe once he gets down to that 1/4 HP level is when those can start coming out. Correct me if I'm wrong there, my friend.
No, that is 100% correct. Although, since he just died, we're not going to see it at all. So
we will not see an Ultima on Turdsman, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for Sabre.
Unfortunately, he will live.
One of those. Turdsman is definitely not in the pro Ultima B camp.
Okay, so the real strat here is to fly to Jador and then hope that you get the Doomgaze encounter along the way.
Well, he's at Mobilis, so nope. I mean, Jador is only a few tiles away if he goes.
Yeah, he's got to get real lucky.
So it's real minuscule chance he runs to a Doomgaze encounter here. But stranger things have happened.
I've had it before where Doomgaze was literally right on top of me, and as soon as I started moving, got the encounter trigger. So, not unheard of, but very unlikely.
He even takes the long way and he doesn't get it.
So here we're looking for this guy to say glowing stones still available, and they are. How about that?
Beautiful.
So we're going to get a lot of gold here. And Turdsman's going to clear shop, and hopefully we see this Esper in a pretty decent amount of time. I've had it before where it's, this is like an 8-minute check because you get unlucky, but...
That's true, but the good news is if he feels the pressure from the RNG number not blessing him, he can just turn around, go inside the mansion, and kill stuff. And
that's true.
Where he needs to go that way.
So after picking up about $100,000, we're ready to buy an imp. And it is faster to reset here rather than go through the imp cutscene.
There we go, Turdsman. This is not his first rodeo in the auction house. The unfortunate part is I don't believe he saved after he sold all of his stuff. Yes, he did not because he's back at Mobilis.
Yep. So Schwann's asking, do you go for skip here? I am not tempted because I've got eyes on the prize now.
Not at all, because you need 2 characters, and characters, there's 14 characters versus a much larger number of espers out there still available. You're almost statistically inclined to come across 3 more espers than you are 2 more espers. So at this point, no. Now, if he goes inside the mansion and finds another character, then it's definitely in play. It's definitely something you're going to stop at the Fanatic's Tower and look for. But to do the auction house and then search for the skip, that would just be a huge time waste versus the times you would save.
Yeah. I would maybe consider it if I didn't see an Esper here, and if and if Hauser's Mansion also gave me a character. At that point, I'd be like, yeah, we'll take a look. But
especially if you get a Shadow, you know, or a Zetzer here, or even a Celeste one that gives you a free one to peek, or Shadow gives you a free one to get and a free one to peek, those would be the moves.
Turdsman taking a bit of a risk here, going right back in without saving. I like to run out and save real quick, and that's just insurance against imps. But he's never punished, so he just goes ahead and gets the Esper.
It pays off. You always love it when a chance pays off for a player.
Yes, indeed. So 70,000 bucks in the hole. He picks up Seraphim, and there is the final Kefka unlock for Turdsman.
And he's you know, right around level 40, if not over it, with every character. So there's no dragon here. There's no, hopefully no shopping here. It's straight into the tower.
Yeah, he should just be making a beeline for it.
And of course, obviously he doesn't know this, but with Sabre Wolf being far behind, he's the only thing that's going to stop Turdsman here is some awful RNG on Kefka a couple of different times.
At this point, Turdsman would have to have basically the worst tower and or final Kefka luck that you could possibly get.
The reverse of that, any rough tower he has, Sabre Wolf is also going to encounter. So really, he needs to make that climb, get about 10 minutes into Kefka, then wipe, and probably do it one more time for Sabre Wolf to have any chance to catch up here. But he does have Golem, he does have Siren, he does have a lot of endgame offense. The only thing that's going to stop him at this point in time is Yumaro. As much as it pains me to say it, Yumaro is his worst enemy right now. He's running the Goddess, he's running the Poltergeist, he's running the Doomgaze. Only Magimaster is the boss that could give him a hard time, but he has Berserk spread out pretty well, I think. He has a Yumaro that will take him down pretty fast. And Swan's bringing up a good point, that even if he runs into one of those bosses, he has an Atma weapon and he has multiple Atma weapon users that he can pass that around to, so he's perfectly fine as far as the climb goes. Alright, we are dropping down in the tower at 104 and some change for Turdsman. Sabre Wolf going back, and he's getting a little bit of revenge on Doomgaze here.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to do a little better this time. Yeah, I'm trying to just think of the more difficult bosses. We still haven't seen Atma. Atma can be nasty. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue for Turdsman, but if he decides to just start spamming non-elemental spells, it can get rough. And he's taking a reset. Looks like he messed up his party comp.
Yeah, he may. Another one too would be, you know, Yumaro versus the Stooges here, because you can't target the one you really need to get rid of. So if 3 turns go by, you could be eating a stone to the face. Looks like he's going to send Yumaro with Edgar here. So he's pretty good on one side, and then pretty good magic on the other 2 sides.
That's an interesting party comp that he's got going on.
Yeah, he's committing all of his magic to solo. to solo the two sides, and then he's sending all his physical offense right down the middle.
I mean, like, again, I don't really think that Turdsman's going to encounter any issues here. There are still a couple of rude bosses. The aforementioned Atma, Doom still has yet to rear his ugly head, and down goes Doom Gaze for Sabrewolf. Very nice.
Sabrewolf extracting some revenge there. Always feels good.
Yes, indeed.
So Swant's pointing out a great point that, if Terra runs into some trouble, that Terra can throw on that Atma weapon. We're not sure if Mog can or cannot. We know Mog can throw on a lance at least and get up in the air. So if push comes to shove, there is an alternative that can come to light. But Turdsman is full on risking it for the biscuit mode. He is not saving, and he is going straight into the Inferno fight.
Pumping out the haste too here. Wants to give Umaro as many turns as possible. I really like it.
The running shoes alone on Umaro is always a great thing to have.
Yeah, biggest problem with Guardian is just that he's another big sack of hit points.
In my opinion, he is the mechanical version of Fumbaba. He just has a huge HP pool and just sits there and toys with you most of the fight.
He can be very scary in certain flag sets where if you scale him up too high, you get like tentacles that do 3,000 damage, inks that'll just one-shot party members,
and some atomic rays out of the blue that you were not even sure you could even cast. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
At this point, it's just for Turdsman, it's really just kill stuff and go fast as you can because there's not standing between him and the way of the final Kafka.
Yeah, and down goes the Guardian. No problem at all. Sabrewolf running into some cave spaghetti.
Sabrewolf is still a ways away just from entering the tower. There is a decent chance here that Turdsman will be starting Kefka as Sabrewolf is in it, just entering the tower, so maybe that 30-minute time loss, Sabrewolf has recovered some of it, but nowhere enough to be a credible threat to Turdsman at this point.
Yeah, like I said, barring anything truly catastrophic, the likes of which I have not seen in any Worlds Collide seed, I think that Turdsman has this one pretty much in the bag. Which is really unfortunate for Sabrewolf because I know that
It's very unfortunate because he had a lot on the line tonight. He had a first place finish potentially, which would have been huge for him.
Yeah.
Viewers, if you want to wear both of these players are in Potion D and they're both going on to Elixir, it's the only thing we have to settle is who's going to finish in first. And at the beginning of the night, both were right there neck and neck. They both had a chance. Sabrewolf a little more of an outside chance. Thank you, Swans, for pulling up the standings. As you can see, Turdsman was 1 point ahead with 90-second faster average time. So Sabrewolf needed 1 to win tonight, 2 Turdsman to finish third or farther back. So he needed some help from Goku. He needed some help from Maydays. He needed some help from Verts to get there. Or if Sabrewolf finished first and Turdsman finished second, they would have tied with the same amount of points because Turdsman had a 4th place finish that drops off. So they both would have finished with the same amount of points. And Sabrewolf would have needed to win tonight's race by 12 minutes and 1 second or more to have a better average time to get first place. So there was a lot on the line tonight.
So one cool thing to note here is that X-Fight will get around any kind of love token trigger.
That is very true, so he doesn't have to worry about fixed dicing himself over and over in the face.
Nope.
You can go ahead and let it roll. Turdsman coming up on the switch room now with a very, very good time. As you saw from the screen, Turdsman average lead time was right around 133, and at this 111 pace, pushing down the weights under the switches. He's in line to improve upon that time if things keep going just as well as they have been for him.
He's definitely in a spot where he can get a sub 130 on this seat. You might need a little bit of cooperation from the Yeti, but otherwise, yeah. So last 4 bosses coming up, and we still haven't seen any of like the super easy ones. Here's that Tritalk that we were kind of worried about.
That is true, but with Yamaru should make short work of this as long as Yamaru doesn't take too much damage, and Realm has a fire 3 anyway, so none of it.
Yeah, nah. Like this is one of the fights that could have potentially messed him up with the wrong party comp, but we have the right one here, so.
It could have, but fortunately his character is not even supposed to be in the party. Is doing quad 9, so not a lot going wrong for Turdsman tonight.
No, he really has carved out a great path through this seed, and it started like right there at the start, popping those super balls on the gold dragon, and getting his levels that way. That's definitely the correct play for this seed.
It's definitely been an avalanche of good decisions leading to the good results. You know, we spoke on it earlier when he started. We were discussing his pathing, how he was saving Narsh for last once he had his Yamaru unlock. And he transitioned that straight into the dragon, and he ran into no resistance with the Air Force up top, and then whatever the gold dragon that got him going. So good pathing is leading to good results, and you love to see it.
100%. Turdsman putting the egg on Realm.
That's an interesting choice right there.
Uh,
Maybe he's a little worried about Yamaru backfire and everything on him on a tier 3.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too, but the time to worry about that was
The time to worry about
like an hour ago. You know?
I believe I had mentioned this earlier, but I'm a big fan of, I don't believe there's any one right or wrong path you can choose at the start of a seed based on your characters, as long as you do it with conviction. So if he waffles on this a little bit and switches Yamaru out for Realm, I feel like that's a wrong play. You've invested this much in the Yeti. I see no downside to sticking with it and rolling it out. He's going to kill everything. It's just a matter if he kills everything at a very inopportune time.
Right. The only real danger here is the Yeti provoking an ultimate counter from Final Kefka.
Maybe he saw that quad 9s on that Tritalk and he reconsidered, maybe I don't have to do anything to Realm. She's good to go. Ultimately, I think Realm's going to be his 5th character. I don't think Turdsman's going to pull the trigger on taking Yeti out. I don't want Turdsman to take the Yeti out. I don't think the viewers want it. I think he's going to give the viewers what they want here and keep him in.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely an interesting play. Even if he decides to keep Realm, I think that's okay, just given the damage that she can do. Like you saw a 5k Fire 3 right there. That's totally fine.
Even though Tritalk is weak to ice, that's some good damage that's going to happen. On tier 1, that's going to take down Tiger Face pretty good. Swan's asking maybe he's swapping Realm out for Edgar, and maybe we won't know for sure until he takes care of this number 24 and what's ever on the other side. We can always speculate.
And I think that's also, yeah. Since Edgar's not doing a whole lot, and Realm definitely fits better in that slot, so yeah, I can see that.
Sabre will having better go of it with this Fumbaba.
Yeah.
He's at 7-6, so he's sniffing the tower, but he's not quite there yet. So
He's got to muscle his way through this poltergeist.
That is true. With Edgar and Realm, I think he'll ultimately be fine, but I stand corrected. He's in very serious danger right now.
Launcher's rough.
All right, the moment of truth. We find out what stands between Turdsman and the last piece of the puzzle.
Tunnel armor.
Leader. Tunnel armor leader.
Nope.
Various Ultroses, and oh, it's his savior.
Dabbing Yeti.
If he was debating switching out Yamaro, he's having that decision thrown in his face right now.
Yeah, you can't do it now. This is a sign. Okay. Sabre Wolf doing more happy dances after killing Poltergeist. So very nice. That'll put him at 7-7.
So we're going to have a 118XX switch here for Turdsman. Sabre Wolf 2 Esters behind before he can even enter the tower. So Sabre Wolf has probably closed some of that 30-minute gap he had, at the top of Narsh earlier. But again, nothing really to threaten Turdsman or even to give you a whiff that there's a threat to Turdsman right now. And we will get the moment of truth and figure out Turdsman's final four here.
That was switches at 118.28.
Ladies and gentlemen, Turdsman can't see you, he can't hear you, he can't feel you, but if you put your Yamaros in the chat, he will fill us. He will fill us in his presence, and he will keep the Yeti in his party. Let's do it.
I believe
the Yeti is staying. I don't have a Yeti emote, but I'm sending a Mog emote because that's the closest I got.
Do it for the people, Turdsman.
We got 2 from Swants. If we can get at least 6 Yeti emotes, it will happen. We got 2. Moogleplex maybe doesn't have the Yeti emote. We'll consider that 1, so we got 3 total. Can we get 3 more? We cannot.
Yo!
That is unfortunate. Is he going to do it?
He did it.
He did
Number
it.
1.
Oh, we didn't let him down.
Man of the people.
If you haven't, give Turdsman a follow just for that. Give him a subscription. Give him whatever you have to give. This man is putting on a show tonight.
Honestly, both of our runners have done extremely well for themselves. Turdsman with his clean path through the seed, and Sabre Wolf with his just sheer perseverance, because it is rough to bounce back from a seed where he started like that. So
there are not many runners that would have took the forfeit and called it a night after that start, but all the credit in the world to Sabre Wolf for sticking it out and putting on a great show show for us tonight. As Schwant says, you don't have the race without the runners. And make sure we show our great appreciation to Sabre for sticking it out and everything else he does for the community, from all the video editing to all the hosting, to just being a great guy all around.
Yeah, Saberwolf is another titan of the Worlds Collide community. So,
He's part of what makes this community so great.
100%. Ooh, get him up. Get her up. Okay, good.
Oh no, we got Turdsman having a character down. 911, we got an emergency. Fortunately, they're back up, and Yamaro hasn't quite swung his way to a nasty counter yet.
And, well, this should be it right here. And even if he does counter, he takes 1 damage. And then there's tier 1. Umaro with that perfect physical defense, thanks in no small part to the Snow Muffler. How cozy indeed. So here, because both of our runners have access to Siren and Doom, or some manner of instant death, the threat posed by this boss is significantly lessened.
Very much so. So on Tiger Face's first turn, I believe he does nothing. And then on his second turns, he can do North Cross. He can do 1 or 3 attacks, all of which start doing some damage. And then on his third turn, that's when he can start whiffing out some zombie on you. So the longer this goes on, the more dangerous Tiger Face gets. But with Turdsman offense and a little luck from Yamaro, Tiger Face may not make it to that third turn.
Ooh, Hauser's Mansion for Saberwolf, rewarding Ragnarok the sword and not Ragnarok the stone.
It looks like Saberwolf's going to have to find 2 Espers elsewhere that Turdsman did not.
Well, Saberwolf has not gone into the auction house yet.
I think when he went down to the armor shop, he made his commitment that he's done with Jador, and he's on to Phoenix Cave, he's on to Strago stuff. Yep, he is on to Strago's good stuff. Looks like Tier 2 is posing a little trouble for Turdsman at the moment.
Biggest danger here is that you wind up killing multiple body parts at the same time. But at this point, I think he's going to be okay. Umaro only takes 1 damage from the physicals, so...
Yeah, as long as some of those 10 hits go to Umaro, will be fine. The only thing that could really give him some issues is if he kills Magic first, eats a quarter on a couple other characters, and 10 hits goes off.
And then 10 hits, yeah, exactly.
But with Tiger Face is done for. He's coasting through the rest of this tier. Out comes 10 hits, and all that's left is a formality. That is correct.
Absolutely. No
They both have
here.
golem. One more turn should finish this up. My mistake. There's about less than 1,000 HP left on this part, and that will do it.
All right, and up he goes, tier 3.
So this is where Umaro could backfire. Personally, Umaro never backfires, but the scenario exists where it might happen. Because really, what you want to do right here is you want to get about 10,000 damage done of non-elemental damage on the back part, Lady. Because once she's gone, she will no longer be able to revive the front part, who has about 40,000 HP. And the magic number here is 30,000. You want to not do 30,000 HP to the front part until you can comfortably get a Umaro swing in here that will finish him off. Yamaro not caring what anybody has to say. He's going right at it. So right now we're at 7,000. We got 20,000, 3,000 HP before we start triggering some nasty counterattacks.
Yeah, at this point, I think I would just let Umaro take care of business. Heal as necessary with everybody else.
Yes, we just need one more swing on Lady, and that should knock her out. Does he get it here?
I think.
Oh no,
I
he
think
does
she
not.
is dead.
Is she dead?
I think so.
I am mistaken. So the next Yamaro swing
Yeah, see, those body slams are not what you want to see right now.
is not. That is not what you want to see right now. You said it best.
And
So really, you're just trying to trickle it down, and hopefully that body swing doesn't come flying out and trigger that.
Turdsman doing very good here with the weight tricking. And there we go. This should be the end of rest.
Playing it safe pays off. Congratulations, Turdsman.
Oh, but he didn't cast
He did not get
Golem.
Golem off, though.
Huh.
Let's see what happens. Down goes Terra. Only one character. That's best case scenario.
I think that Turdsman's totally fine here.
He is. I don't remember if he has a Mega Elixir or not. I don't remember if he bought one. That were just kind of. I think that was Sabre Wolf.
He did buy one.
Then.
But it's entirely possible that we don't see Fallen One here.
Because he's going to get 17 instantly from Yamaro, so he just needs to manufacture 13k out of his three other party members. And with one of them being Edgar, that was in the party the entire game, that should be no issue whatsoever. And there it comes, 14,000 damage. Excuse me, 16,000 to go. At 30,000,
oh, he does get it. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you need 30,000 to bypass that fallen one. Maybe not 30,000 exactly. I forget the top of my head, but around that. Yamaro not packing quite the punch he was earlier.
Yeah, that 1 HP Atma weapon swing really does a number on him. Okay, so this is really good timing for Goner.
It would be great if Goner came out right now for him. And there it is.
Okay. Well,
that Phoenix down's a little may not pay off, and it won't.
And Gamaro's about to swing, so hopefully... Oh, that did almost nothing to him. That's kind of funny. This should be it. This should be Crack Powell for Turdsman.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. GG's Turdsman. Very well done.
Very well done indeed, ladies and gentlemen. If you can get your GGs in the chat, show Turdsman some appreciation.
I think I was like a 128.55. Let's check the race room. Uh,
28.57. Time is unofficial, subjective video review, but for the purposes of this race, he is our winner tonight. Hang tight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if Turdsman would like to join us for an interview after the race. And he will be joining us as soon as he is ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged into here.
Hello.
Turdsman, congratulations on your first place finish this evening.
Thank you very much.
Very, very well done, Turdsman. If you are checking out the stream now, you may see Sabre progress, but you were absolutely way and far ahead. You did a fantastic job. You had great routing, you had great offense, you had great decision making, and best of all, you gave the people what they wanted. You gave us Yeti all the way through, and we really appreciate that.
I mean, when I noticed he can equip the Atma weapon, that's when I realized, like, okay, no, you can't have a movie without the monster. He's got to stay in.
What I'm hoping is your performance tonight will not deter people in the future from Yeti, because your average, for the league was a 133, I believe, and then you just finished with a 128, so your Yeti knocked 5 minutes off your time, roughly.
That's okay. All right, I'll have to keep that in mind for the future.
Please do. We want to see Yeti usage go up in this community.
Like, it was, I don't know, it felt really weird. Like, the first 15 to 20 minutes, it all seemed like it just went perfectly. And yeah, it's like, I mean, I ran into a bunch of dead checks in the middle, which was a huge pain in the butt, but like just everything in the beginning, like, okay, I've got GP Rain and Magitech. That takes care of any early game mods. Oh, but I don't have any checks that have grind fights in them. So, okay, well, I'm going to have to figure that out. Oh, never mind. There are Super Balls right here. And I found like 4 Genji helmets.
At the beginning, how many Super Balls? What was the maximum amount of Super Balls you were willing to buy there? Because you went with 2, but you were maybe had just enough to get maybe 1 or 2 more if you really wanted to.
Yeah, 2 or 3, I think. I forget who I learned this strategy from, but a dragon that is only around level 10, you can pretty reliably take it out with 2 Super Balls, if unless you're like really unlucky. So that's kind of something I've been keeping in the back of my head for early game grinding stuff.
And we do have a question for you, chat, and from the chat, Turbans for you, Moogleplex is asking, what were you going on about the end when,
Oh, yeah.
Eggnog Realm? We were all very worried. We were trying to get them to throw Yamaros in the chat so you wouldn't switch them out. We know you couldn't see us or hear us, but we were hoping you would feel us.
Oh, yeah. No, Umaro was locked in the second he had the Atma weapon, and I was just like, and I found a freaking offering for him, so I was just like, all right, this is happening. This is great. But what I noticed in that Guardian fight is a realm with no equipment or accessories, or just straight off the bench was doing 50% more damage than Edgar. So I figured, like, all right, I can do math. I need to make a quick change here.
Yeah, I believe Gar called it that everything was going right for you when your character who wasn't supposed to be there was doing quad nods on Tritalk. So
right, yeah. It's like, oh well, all right, it's great interview. You're hired.
Yeah, I really don't have any questions for you. I thought that your route was very clean. If the dragon that you ran into was something nasty at low levels, like the Pearl Dragon, for example, would you have considered like just going to Tritalk and then circling back to kill it, or would you have just done something else entirely?
Yeah, I probably would have maybe taken a couple of random encounters on the cliff just to get myself just that I have enough HP to tank. Is it Scar Beam? I think is the one. I guess I could probably use Pearl at low level too, but
well, if he gets when he starts, he can get 1 to 3 turns. So if he does Pearl twice at level 3, it's gonna kill 2 characters.
Oh yeah.
So it's always the dragon nobody wants to see when they make that play.
I mean, 1 Scar Beam probably would have wiped the party too. Honestly.
Definitely. Definitely a probably.
Yeah.
Schwantz, we got another question from some of our viewers for you, Turdsman. Schwantz wants to know, when you're at Auction House, if that wasn't an Esper, what was the move, my dog?
Let me look at my tracker. I probably would have taken Phoenix Cave. Well, no, I shouldn't have taken Phoenix Cave. I hadn't thought about this yet. In case I was by the end of it.
We asked the tough questions.
I got so tilted when, like, every single multi-part check, like I did all of the Narsh stuff all at once for both sides, and I kept getting I'm just shy of what I thought I was going to have. So like even the auction house, I was kind of scrambling, but I would probably, if I was thinking properly, I would check Fanatic's Tower first.
So
And then,
I believe at the time, Fanatic's Tower, the mansion, which was right there, Phoenix Cave, Ebix Rock, or Burning House, Leet River.
You're right, yeah.
You had already done the Fumbaba check, so you had some crummy options there.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing that's going to take less than like 5 minutes or so.
But I believe that was the last question from the chat, so we're gonna, spoil some of what Saberwolf had going on for you here and let you get your thoughts on that.
Oh yeah, sure.
So about 15 minutes, and Saberwolf went up World of Balance Narsh, and he had a tough go of it. He did his Lone Wolf check. He did the Kefket Narsh check, ran through Fumbaba. After about 12-ish minutes, he made it through Fumbaba and decided to risk it for the biscuit and went right into Moonwood Defense Doom Gaze. And you can see where I'm going with this.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
And then, well, Schwantz point. I'm trying to tell the modest version of the story. Schwantz. Schwantz pointing out another part.
Revise the history a little bit.
He did that twice, by the way. He was very flustered. I would have been very flustered. I can only imagine if he was flustered, angry, decomposed, smashing the wall, throwing things, swearing, colorful language, all that type of stuff that happens when you tilt. But he had about a 30-minute time sink there.
Ooh,
so he was very comfortably ahead and really ran away with it. If you tune in now on the stream, you can see he's just now approaching the switches. He made up maybe a few minutes, but he was never any threat after that, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate because I was very worried when I ran into Doomgaze. I was bummed out when I saw it was a 7th character, but I kind of got over it because I really didn't want to do any of Strago's checks. So I was like, you know what, Esper Mountain is better than Esper Mountain plus this thing I'm doing right now is better than any of the stuff that Strago has to offer. So let's go. And then when I ran into Doomgaze and I had to be worried about math, I can definitely see that easily going the other way. Like if I would have lost 10, 12 minutes if my levels weren't right.
Yeah, it was all told. The first go through was about a 16-minute time sink, and he credits to him for doubling down. And you love to see conviction when you make a decision like that, even if it doesn't work out. All you can do is give it your best sometimes. And he went right back in, and then the multiple attempts added up to about 30 minutes separating you before he was back on his way again. That's
rough.
Very rough.
Yeah.
But as you can see, if you tune in, he's still going, and again, all the credit in the world to him. With he knows there's lots of viewers watching. He knew the stakes, and he's still going at it. There's very few people, maybe nobody else besides him, that would have the fortitude to stick this out and play it through.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially if we're putting on a show. I want to make sure that they get to see the clown take it. I mean, that was a rotten thing to run into, but I'm looking at the stream right now, and he's doing way more damage than I am, and also he's not 30 minutes behind where I was.
He made up some time.
Yeah, he definitely
nice offering. He did run into some of the dead checks you ran into. He did get into a dead check in Owzers, which was a Ragnarok, by the way, which was probably your alternative. I believe you said if you didn't get the auction house Esper.
Oh yeah, I probably would have gone there too because I had smoke bombs and stuff, so I can just skate through all that stuff.
So business definitely picked up for him. And right now, Saberwolf is, just about to start getting to all the switches and start his climb up towards Kefa. He's got 2 more fights to go for those still tuning in at the Saberwolf. Turdsman, how do you're going to claim first place in Potion D. That's always a fantastic thing. That's a great feeling. That's no small feat. Only a handful of people get to do that each season. How are you feeling right now?
I'm preparing myself to just get annihilated next season. Like I really. I've been slowly picking away at my time. Like 128.57 is not that bad for me.
No, that was
But-
that's a fantastic time, especially for a Yeti party.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. But like, especially looking at like some of the Elixir leagues, and then especially like Mega Elixir, like there's still a long way to go. So I'm going to be interested to see whether or not I can hang with the varsity team.
Well, you got a Mega Elixir player right here in Gar. Do you
That's
have,
true. And
wanna
Gar's
ask-
great. Like
Gar's fantastic. Gar is one of the first people I started watching when I started looking into Worlds Collide. By the way, don't tell him I said that.
I won't.
all right,
you.
yeah.
But yeah, no. Again, I don't really have anything. I thought your route through the seed was great, Turdsman. Congrats on your first place finish. Congrats on moving on up to Mega Elixir. You and Sabrewolf both actually are heading on up there. So I believe in your strength and your just raw power.
Yes.
And by that, I mean if you go and punch everybody in your Elixir division.
You got to remember, they all have to beat you. That we had, how many
That's true.
viewers did we cap off tonight? And how many of them are Elixir? They all just watched you, go at it with Sabrewolf and really tear him to shreds. You put on a great show, and they're all worried about you now, man.
Well, I figured by the time you get up to the Elixir League, that's when you start hiring other people to do it for you.
Oh,
So I'm really looking forward to the contractors that I'm going to end up working with. Yeah,
You say that, my dog, but I might hire you to run my seeds after tonight.
hey, all right. I mean, my rates.
I don't pay very well, but we'll talk about it in private.
Okay, yeah. We'll talk.
All right. Well, Turdsman, thank you for joining us. Anybody else in the chat, I believe, doesn't have anything else for you. So, thank you for racing. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a great night.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for putting this on. Big thanks to Schwantz for getting the engine running again, and for you guys for commentating. Really appreciate it.
Of course.
And
Absolutely.
a big thanks to Sabrewolf. He's a good buddy. I hate to see him take a shot of doom gaze to the dome, but really good runner. Kept me honest the entire time. Like, was just right behind me.
He took a chance tonight and it didn't pay off, but kudos to you. You were a point ahead of him. He had to catch you, so he had to take those chances. So, kudos to you again, Turdsman.
Well, thank you very much. See, I'm gonna dip. Y'all have a good night.
Later, my dog.
Watch the stream.
Yeah.
One more time, viewers, if you were not aware, that was at Turdsman. Give him a follow. Be sure to check him out next season in Elixir and all the great things he's going to do there.
He's such a great guy. I love Turdsman to death. More than deserving of your follow.
Definitely. And he's just another great example of all the great guys in our community, all great guys and gals, excuse me. So if you're not, join our Discord. Swans, if you're there, can you put the Discord up in the chat for me? I don't know what exclamation point and button to press to make that happen. Thank you, Nightbot. I appreciate it. Wait, Nightbot's a bot, not a person. Excuse me.
Nightbot appreciates it though.
Thank you, AI. Yeah. So, but if you haven't, if you're, a long-time player, we're excited you joined us tonight. If you are interested or have just stumbled across us or have never heard of Worlds Collide tonight, I strongly suggest joining our Discord. Just get your feet wet. Come on in. Have a cup of water. As soon as you join, some fantastic people are going to greet you. If you got any questions, you'll have more than enough willing people to answer them. Just come on in and see what we're about. Don't even start playing. Just come on in and see what we're about and get your feet wet. And once you see how great of a community we have, you'll want to start playing. So. Discord's in the chat. Come join us. We'll love to have you. We hope to see you soon. We're not signing off, by the way. We're going to stick through with Sabrewolf. I wasn't meaning to make that sound like a sign off, by the way.
Glue, I love you.
Oh, thank you, Bob. I love you too. I just didn't want to say it first.
I'm not afraid. All right, so this is Sabre Wolf's last fight here.
So let me posit something. Would we be out of line, or is it against some type of rule to get Sabre Wolf in the chat while he wraps this up?
I don't think so.
Well,
We can have him talk if and he would like to.
I think he has some thoughts he wants to get off his chest. I have a suspicion. So as he takes out some frustrations on Kefka, we'll maybe let him voice some thoughts. I'll check for errors. Hang tight, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for that cutoff. My wife walked in and gave me a secret mana strategy guide I forgot I ordered.
Ooh.
It's in pretty decent shape as well. I forgot I order so much stuff sometimes that I forget. Saberwolf just joined the chat. Saberwolf, we're Turdsman has wrapped up, I believe, as you saw. And as you take some frustrations out on Kefka here, if you wanted to Saberwolf just chat with us, we wouldn't mind having you.
Couple of things. Just shout out to Extra Life. I am a contributor to Extra Life that raises money for kids with illnesses. Any of my donations go into my link, which is the Extra Life /participant/Saberwolf. 100% of donations goes to Connected Children's Hospital. So I want to throw that up there first.
We can find that link on your, excuse me, not your Discord, your Twitch channel, correct?
Yeah, you can find that on my Twitch channel and on my YouTube as well. First and foremost, I gave up, like I said in the chat in here, I gave up like an hour and 7 minutes ago. I tried to do... I was talking to Glue earlier, and I was like, you know what? If there's nobody good starting with, maybe if you start with Mog, maybe you should just do Kefka and Narsh and see if that would work like well. And clearly, it did not work at all for me doing that. It pretty much blew up in my face immediately. So, just long story short, that was the run. I mean, straight up, that was just the run.
Well, we spoke about that in great length on the chat, but first and foremost, there should be no fault. I don't feel there should ever be any fault for taking any type of aggression. You know, if you make a decision and you're trying to do it, you're trying to do it fast. That's all you can do, and that's all anyone ultimately does.
I mean, in my mind, it's like, okay, I can triple up here, get some early levels, because none of the characters offered any means of really early levels to go. There was no early fights. They need to get a little bit of... Now, granted, there were breakables, and, breakables should have been enough on some of the other boss fights, except for Goddess.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the breakables should have been enough to get through that. But I was like, you know what? Let me just go with that idea of just here. Let me get some fights here, and then push through. Then, of course, it's Pumbabo, who's just a tank of damage. And the worst possible boss you can... One of the two worst possible bosses you can get, which is Doomgaze. And that just... And slammed my head against that wall, just kind of ended my run.
Yeah, Swans mentioned a great point that he thinks it was the right play, just unlucky, and sometimes luck will be on your side, sometimes it won't.
I know I needed to get... I had to get first place, and I had to get some amount of time, but, I mean... Turdsman posted up a sub 90. I mean, anything I would have done wouldn't have beat that anyways, because the best I could have done is tied him unless somebody else could get in between us. But
I believe you're selling yourself a little bit short, because you had about a 30-minute time sink, because you started those shenanigans at 16 minutes, and then you didn't walk out of you didn't walk out of there until about 46 minutes. So you were 30 minutes behind. So if you finished under a 158 here, and maybe you run into a leader there and tunnel armor, it's a different story.
Yeah, maybe.
So I mean, you can never say first.
Who's got Siren? There we go.
Because Turdsman went there as well, and he took a few minutes to take down Goongaze, but it's definitely still a closer race.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that's just horrible freaking luck, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes Rando's gonna rando. I think that you played this seed pretty well, and you just got unlucky.
Yep. Ow.
Yeah, and at level 10, there's not too many bosses 2 Super Balls doesn't take out, and Fumbaba, Guardian happen to be 2 of those. Excuse me, Fumbaba happens to be one of those, with the other being Guarding and maybe some of the statues. So you were sub 10% to really run that type of outcome in the first boss, really.
Well, I might be wiping here, so this is great.
Yeah, so we talked about that you had lost about 30 minutes there, but when you were on switches and he finished up, you definitely were no longer 30 minutes behind. You had made up some time with that fixed dice offering being in the distance, as Swans points out.
Yeah, that was my damage turnaround, but I mean, it's still. Oh my god, nobody learned the Cure 3 after all. Oh boy, this is bad. Oh boy. Oh my god, this is killing me.
Yeah,
I got folks up.
Tier 2 can be one of the more difficult tiers sometimes when all the pieces don't quite add up. But we got this.
And no thanks, Sabre Wolf. Let's go.
Yeah, a nice heal there. It took down Realm, but we still got a nice heal. That's all.
Oh, Edgar had it.
There we go.
Can tools please die? This is third attempt, by the way. There, got it.
There we go. Beautiful.
Now we can do stuff.
Yeah, now the rest of this is just gravy. I wouldn't be surprised if Kefka's up top and he takes a forfeit right now.
Yeah. Wishful thinking. Am I? The only good thing so far is I got magic to be quiet. Don't do it. Okay, thank you. Hey, Tiger's dead.
Tiger face taking the bullet.
That sucks that my Atma user is the one with the Cure 2 that I need to have full health, so it's kind of backwards progression there.
And so Turdsman has completed, and so we can talk a little bit about Turdsman. What Turdsman did, if you're interested. Turdsman elected to keep Umaro in the party for the entire game, which is a very interesting, very risky, but did pay off play for him.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Umaro because he can get you into trouble with some like random hits and stuff, especially with bosses that counter. So that's why I don't like taking him in my party. Plus, I mean,
I've heard of that happening, but I've yet to see it.
Well, plus he was behind the levels because by the time I got through Pumbaba and those critical early fights, he was already like 10 levels behind.
Yeah, that is true.
Because you had to put him out because of the Kefka fight, so he was already like behind the 8-ball on that one. So why put him in the group is already 10 levels behind. I'm not going to put experience tag on to have him catch up.
You were level 12, level 13ish after you finished off Pumbaba, so he was 12, 13, level 3.
He was still at level 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the real reason why I kicked him out. And then the other one was, which was better, Terra with Throw or Locke, who had way higher stats, because Terra's stats were crap. And I was like, and also Locke had like 9 levels. Oh, please hit the right target here. 1. Okay, you got 50% of it. Why not? I think it's dead girl. One use is not like the others. Nope. I think Edgar had everything.
Just about.
I think Edgar had the Atma Weapon, the Cure 3, and the Golem. Am I wrong? Oh, I'm not wrong. He has Golem as well. Ain't that cool? He's just a total package.
Edgar has everything you need to solo this.
Ah! Alright. Dump.
And we're getting the party back up. We're at good health. We're feeling pretty good right now. We're just waiting on that guy, Edgar.
That's fine.
Swan's asking a great question. At the beginning, when you went to Locks check and you had to decide between the egg and the Golem Esper, you took
yeah.
Turdsman was a no-brainer. He went straight for Golem, excuse me. But you took a good second. Yeah, he took maybe 3 seconds, but in the viewer's mind, it was a very suspenseful 3 seconds, so it felt like an hour to us. What was
I
your,
was like,
your thoughts
oh,
there?
this is the choice. Oh, okay, I see how this goes.
Yeah,
I think you should have
Turdsman
told me how
already-
the rest of the sea was going to go just by that one choice. I'm like, oh, okay. Do
The
I go? And the choice is like, do I go for possible magics, guaranteed get past K3, because I didn't have Terra at the time, so I didn't know if we could get the other option, or do I get experience egg, which is AKA wing egg, but then I have no protection for K3. So I'm like, protection K3 is more important. That's why I went with the Golem. So
Turdsman had found it. Turdsman had went to Figo Castle first, and that's where you had found the other egg in one of the shops. So he had already found
Yeah.
that. So that's why I guess that's why he's saying, or that's why he went straight for Golem. He already had an egg in the pocket.
I mean, I
But
was
if
okay. I mean, I found the I found the egg in the shop too. So before I
if
did
that
anything,
Esper is Kieran, are you making that decision still?
I'm sorry, what was that?
If that Esper and the Nourish Weapon Shop, if that's Kieran and not Golem, are you still making the same decision?
Seeing as I like Kieran, but I don't think I like him like that one that much.
Mhm.
No, I think you still take the Esper because it's early games. You still need something. You still need some sort of offense because Esper deals you both. It gives you offense and defense. Wait up. Okay, word mine. Thank you.
And out comes Kefka's twin, triggering Goner the phase.
Get it. That should be right there. Yep. Wow, that was horrible. Ugh. That is the worst time of my of the season. So obviously this will be my drop week.
Well,
1:58:45 is the official time for the viewers at home.
GG's to you regardless, Saberwolf, because you are going to move on to the Elixir tier next season.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be frank and honest with everybody that unfortunately Potion D, we had a lot of people did not participate, which kind of put me in a better position for about 3 weeks, getting a win second. So I don't know what would have changed if other people did come and show up, especially Goku. Like Goku is a better runner than what he lets on to. In fact, I think he won. He played like twice. I think he won both weeks, but those are only 2 weeks he ran. So, but yeah, that's
Well, Swans has the
That's pretty
standings
much
up
it,
right
so.
now, and you can see, Mede is unfortunately taking a forfeit. He had some personal issues. He had the 10-2.
Yep.
Goku unfortunately didn't have time to complete all of his runs. But you can tell as Goku's average time 132 from his 2 races, and you're at 135. The gap is not as big as you're making it out to be. The talent is all there. The talent is very well dispersed, and sometimes availability is an ability, and you were able to power through and get through. So that's nothing to take for granted.
I appreciate that. Turdsman never posted his time. Turdsman, post your time. Um,
You
uh,
might win first on technicality after all.
but no, I think Ultros League now, like now that we're in our fourth season,
Mhm.
there's a lot less outliers because any new people that join in who have speedrunning experience that joined during seasons 2 and kind of season 3 kind of got shuffled into the tonic levels, and that kind of messed things up a little bit. But now we're in our fourth season. That's kind of evening out now.
Mhm.
I mean, there's one or two people, but I think now where Ultras League, where it is now, is in a great spot, especially for newcomers. So everybody's really in their, really in the places they should be in to be competitive with each other. There we go. Thank you, Turdsman. He just posted his time now. So I really think that everybody is where they kind of belong. And if you look at the average times across all the levels, you see Mega Elixir hangs around like 115, Elixir hangs around 120, 125, Potion hangs around 130, 135. So and you see for like the top like 1 through 3 runners.
Mhm.
And you can see that definition at each levels now. So I really think that Ultras League now with its fourth seasons, you're really seeing the pattern there of people being competitive within each of those divisions.
You bring up a great point. I'm asking Swans to go back to Tonic D if he could, please. I'm gonna call out some of my league mates. You got Oxinator, who before the season had even started, hadn't only done a handful of runs, and he's doing sub 90 minutes now. Physics Shebang, unfortunately he couldn't finish the last 2 weeks, but each week he was getting better. I believe his Terst, when he first started, he was doing 245s, and he's cutting 45 minutes off his times. So it's only a matter of time before he's down into putting up potion times.
And if you go to Tonic A, I think Honey's in Tonic A.
Yeah, you got Honeydew.
So
Got
yeah,
that dog in him.
he has a lot more experience than a lot of other people did. He just joined like Tonic Ultras League kind of late.
And
So,
you brought
except for those like couple outlier people, like everybody you see is like 131, 133. They're kind of close together. It's like Sarah like 138, 139, like 127. I mean,
and
so you see, kind of people are kind of close, getting kind of close together. I mean, especially C. I mean, you got a bunch of 141s like all together. So,
and you had mentioned some speedrunners joining the community. If you go back to Tonic C, Overswarm has a very, very vast background of speedrunning things, and he's a great player. He's definitely got that dog in him. But going back to Tonic A, you got Honeydew, who's a straight dog, and then you got Fred F. Coughlin, who I believe it was One Free Fritz had pointed out he owns numerous world records in various NES games. So he's a legend of his own making, and he's in Tonic A going against all these other new players, and even with a guy with a world record still finished second in to someone like Honeydew. So Ultras League is just straight loaded, not just
OS
lifters, but through all the divisions.
Yeah, OS, Overswarm, and Honey both came at the exact same time, right around I believe, what was our last event that we had? Was
Blackjack.
Was Blackjack Battle Royale. They both came in about that time. So, and both of them had like vast like speedrunning randomizer experience. So they're coming in late to Ultras League, but those are kind of the small outliers.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the only way I guess you could fix that is if they finish like a certain position in a tournament beforehand, maybe they can be bumped into Potion. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know of any other real way to fix that. Honestly, unless you have them specifically do like a preseason, like any newcomers have a preseason for placement.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only other way I can think of like preventing that. But if you exclude those outliers, everybody's very close. Like, especially if you have to look in the Elixir, Potion, and Mega Elixir, you see you have 122 through 128 of the top three, 128 through 128 through 138. I mean, there's only 10 minutes separating first through what is that, sixth?
Mm-hmm.
Like Instant to the Ceiling Cat. I mean, that's very close. Like 10 minutes is pretty close.
Yeah, this is
For this
my,
randomizer,
this is
so-
my division. If you make one simple mistake, you're not in first. You're in like fourth
Yeah.
or fifth. It was
Mhm.
it was pretty gnarly this season.
Schwann's told us a great story before we went live. We can't tell the story now
No,
because it
no
has
spoilers.
most of these spoilers. But come
And
Saturday
you're-
afternoon, does he have the story for you?
and that group right there, Elixir B. I mean, you take a look at that. Ensign Wesley, they've won a tournament. Locke, they are probably one of the longest, oldest members of the community. Then you got Schwans, who does all the production stuff, everything. He's around a lot. Silverthorn is a developer for applications that are tied into this game. And you also got Ceiling Cat, who's our tracker legend for all of our restreams. So that is a huge core group right there of people.
Yeah.
That's
But then,
I mean,
but
so
then
it's a
if
competitive
you look
group.
at the Mega Elixir division, and the times are just so much lower, which
Yeah,
it just goes to show you how
117. A 117 is eighth. 5 minutes off the pace, and you're in eighth.
Yeah, I know earlier, Turdsman, I had mentioned letting you run my seeds for somebody, but I might have to let Gar do that now that I see this.
Here's what's even scarier. Ficta with that
Mhm.
117-18, that's a relegation. That's relegation time. Because the bottom 6 are eliminated in a Mega Elixir.
That's correct.
So that's insane. Like, you can be 5 minutes off the lead pace, still get sub 120, and you're still eliminated in the Elixir. That's insane.
Very insane.
To be fair, Mega Elixir had like really, really jetty seeds for basically the entire season.
I wish I got
remember-
one. I just got one jet seed, at least one.
I remember it was week 1, and Falcon Hit, was climbing Kefka's tower, and he had lost 2 powers, two characters to call him as his best 2 characters, and they still calmly post a 104.
That's wow.
Yep.
And well, Falcon Head
there's-
also owns 3 title belts right now. He's like the, I guess you could say, the heavyweight champ, the transcontinental champ, the whatever champ. I mean, he has
Intercontinental.
all the title belts right now. Excuse me. So somebody's got to take one of them away. You know.
Maybe it'll be you.
It will
Yeah.
be you.
Yeah, you're climbing on up there.
It'll be
I
glue.
will say, because this is one of my droppable times. I did meet my goal of being sub 140 for the season. That was my goal,
That's fantastic.
and I
Very
got a
nice.
135. So I'm very happy with that, because if you drop my 2 worst times, which I believe are 147, this one, which is 158, I was 135 for average for the 6 weeks. So
All you
I'm
can
okay
do
with
is
that. I got my goal. So you have to set goals for yourself, and you have to win your own personal battles sometimes. Especially with long asyncs like this, like, you have to set your own goals and everything, and they have to just focus on those. Don't focus on what other people doing, especially with Falcon Hit, because Falcon is just ridiculous. Okay, just don't even try. But like, set personal goals for yourself and just work to those goals, and you will get better in this game. Find your patterns, find what works for you, and you will get there. So.
That's very true. And don't forget, the Falcon Hits and the Guards of the world. You don't have to beat them; they have to beat you sometimes.
Or
Yeah,
Boom Bubba and Doomgaze will just beat you, apparently.
Yeah, that and sometimes Funab stands on your way, not Falcon Hit.
I clearly didn't take my steroids for those fights, so rough. But GG to Turdsman for the Potion D. And I guess I'm looking forward to Elixir. This should be interesting, so we'll see how it goes.
I
Yes.
think you're gonna do well in Elixir.
Yeah, you're gonna do better than your thing. You're selling yourself very short. Turdsman was selling himself short earlier as well, but y'all are gonna do fantastic.
And also, we'll see what the changes are for Ultros League, because Ultros League does change slightly each season, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I did like I guess going back in the season, if we do a quick look back real quick, I do like the elimination of the Espers. I think there's maybe only one Esper in Opera House,
that's true.
right? I think
Yes.
I do like that, because
so
I
too.
hated it was all purely, oh, I have money and I'm going to get good RNG. That's going to put me ahead of everybody else. And that just felt crappy. Okay.
I will say,
I
even
did
though
not like that aspect, and the new aspect now with only one Esper chance makes it a horrible chance of getting one.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. So
I will say, even though we have relegated one dead check at least to the auction house every seed, I don't know if it was just Elixir B's seeds, but
oh god,
there was, I think 2 weeks ago, I rattled off 5 dead checks in a row. It was
Yeah.
absolutely insane. So maybe it was just our bad seed luck, but it seems like there have been more dead checks than I care to remember this.
I had
anyway.
4 in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was fixed dice offering in Ragnarok, and I think those were my 3 dead
Magus Rod
checks.
or something like that was one of them. I
Yeah.
remember.
Magus Rod, I think I got off a dragon.
Boss and
Okay.
Dragon.
I think Magus Rod got one of the dragons. Did he ever do? Oh, did he do Phoenix Cave? What was Phoenix Cave? Or did he did
We'll
not do
never
that?
know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll know when Goku hopefully gets his run in or somebody else.
I was debating this Phoenix Cave versus Zozo, and I'm like, well, Zozo is more peekable and faster, so I'll do Zozo first.
Mhm.
And I didn't really need levels because I think Edgar was like level 50 something by the time it was done. So.
Well, let's ask the chat one more time. Chat, do you have any questions for Saberwolf? Get them in now as we wrap this up, and we want to thank you again, buddy, for sticking it out. We all felt your pain. You know, I had to mute my mic and I was cussing for you a little bit there, but we appreciate you sticking it out. Then we appreciate you joining us as you wrapped it up.
Well, I texted you. I don't know if you mentioned it on stream, but I texted you. I was like, I'm going for it. Because you and I conversation earlier. It's like, oh, if I get Mog, I'm going to try get a couple battles of Kefka, fight, and then do the boss there, and kind of treat it like Floating Continent. Except you get the Esper before you get the fight. So I was like, I'll just try that. And I had the bouncy balls and everything. I got bouncy balls, I got pearl rods, I got everything else. I was like, okay, let's do it. And nope. So, but that's okay.
I know the answer to this question.
Never Kaput is asking you, Terra or Celeste? ?
You really have to ask?
Saberwolf is a big Celeste stan.
Celeste, all the way.
Never Kaput knows how to push your buttons, I suppose.
Wow, the buttons are already pushed. You don't want to push them any further, bro. But seriously, if you want to talk about Terra versus Celeste, Celeste has better stats offensively, and the girls in Edgar are all about swords, and Celeste can hit harder than Terra does with higher vigor. So that's why I go with Celeste. Not to mention she has higher speed too. So in my opinion, I always go with Celeste. Not to mention that